Hello and welcome. It's Delia here. I have a new monitor, so I can't quite figure out where I'm supposed to look now. Okay, so I had this really great question that came in today, and I wanted to talk about it on here because it could help a lot of people. So it was about religion and spirituality, and just what's the deal, kind of. Okay, so in the beginning, for many of us, there was some kind of religion, and it was either a religion or an anti-religion. And my family happened to have been deeply religious. They were also deeply spiritual. Um, they really meant well. They really meant to um, be present and to be authentic and to contribute to the world. Um, they had really great ideals. Okay. And it gets, nutty when you get into the practice of things, especially somebody else's philosophy or idea or religion or spirituality. And one of the things that was always very thorny for me was the hierarchy. The same thing that um, so much of the uh, Me Too and Black Lives Matter, and so much of what the energy of the culture right now, the society right now, has to do with um, coming into one's own and to be sovereign in one's own space, to be in charge of your own life and your own choices, and second to no one. And a lot of times, just what happens when I say things like second to no one or putting yourself first is the first thing that shows up is a lot of bad behavior, pictures of memories of bad behavior, of somebody who was putting themselves first at the cost and expense of other people, or um, taking care of themselves again at the cost and the expense of other people. Now, this bad behavior model, and we all know these people. We're either related to them or we have been them, or usually we're related to them. They were the adults in our childhood, um, and sometimes they're in positions of authority, as is the current case, and they have no business being in a position of authority because they're not um, built. They don't have any cognitive. It's not in their capacity even to see, to watch out for other people. So, for the sake of this conversation, we're going to call them takers, and they're the people who uh, want everything that you have, spoken and unspoken. They're the ones that you watched take advantage of one of your parents, or they were one of your parents, and then and you watched them take advantage of somebody else, maybe even you, either materially, emotionally, mentally, um, financially, in various ways, and even energetically. And that's uh, sensitive, aware, uh, classically psychic kind of people, um, empaths. Uh, all know who I'm talking about. There, you can figure out. You know exactly who it is from your growing up life. And that taker is not a model of self care. That taker is a model of uh, abuse, abusing the environment, abusing the people, abusing the resources. And it's from the little to the big. It's from the abusing family, friends, all the way up to abusing the entire planet to, frack coal so we can drive cars that are polluting and killing us, right? So it's a taker kind of an energy. It's also a kind of an energy that is never satisfied. And so there's no caretaking in that energy at all. And it is just take, 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 and never receiving. That kind of a person, that kind of energy is never receiving anything. It's never being sated. It's never getting any satisfaction. It's just suck, 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 take, take, take. So taking is not the same thing as receiving, right? Because now think about a time when you really cared for and about somebody. You were in a relationship with them, and we're coming up on Christmas now. So imagine a time when, for a Christmas or birthday or just a surprise, you thought of something that they would really like, and you had a lot of um, appreciation for them, and you either spent a lot of time or money, or you just knew that this was going to be something that they were going to really enjoy. And now remember what it was like to give this thing that was valuable to a person that is valuable to you. And now uh, notice two things. Notice how it felt to you to take all of the time and effort to find or buy or whatever it was, and then to present this gift. And now, um, hopefully, this is a time when you gave a gift and it was really, really received. Like they really got how much you meant to them, or they meant to you. There was really a heartfelt kind of open receiving of the gift that you're giving, right? So just maybe close your eyes and just kind of get that sense of when you really gave something and the person really, really received it. And just get the sensation of the energy that happens when you gift and somebody else really receives. Yeah, so you can see the difference between the receiving energy and the taking energy of that other person, right? It's like night and day, right? And so now just kind of let all that go. And you may kind of want to make some conclusions, decisions, assumptions out of all that. But just for the moment, just be aware, be in the awareness of what it feels like to um, be around a taker. And it kind of doesn't matter what you do, right? And then the recollection of gifting to somebody who really received it, right? Great. All right. And now just maybe just close your eyes and take a few nice deep breaths. And just have the idea of coming more into your body, into your very own sweet body. And just get a sense of what if you, in this moment right here, right now, what if you receive your body? What if you really are appreciative of your body and really allow your body to gift to you and really allow yourself to receive from your sweet body? Just experiment with what would that be like? Yeah, what do you notice? Yeah, so when you're receiving, when the topic is receiving, when the energy is receiving, there's a gentleness, there's like a warmth. It's like it warms up the chilly parts and it cools down the fevered parts, whatever that might mean. Yeah, just notice. You may notice a lack of struggle or effort. Just when you're in receiving, there's just a lack of resistance, which often registers as a lack of effort. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so just notice how your breathing is when you're just in a state of receiving. Good. So when you're in a state of receiving, you're not resisting anything, you're not even judging anything. Because when you're receiving, everything just flows. So nothing is getting stuck inside. It can all just come in and keep going. And just be aware how you can receive from the front of you. And be aware how you can also receive from behind you and from below you and from above you and from the left of you and right of you. And just in every direction, just get a sense of receiving all the yummy amazing that's coming in from the universe through the material of the chair that you're sitting on, the computer, the desk, the very air around you. Now, just imagine that you're in the religion that you were trained in, even if that religion was anti religion. And just notice what happens to your receiving. You may notice that then it's like all the shackles go up, all the barriers go up, because then you have to discern, you have to figure out if it's right or wrong or good or bad and what it means about you, right? Because in the context of a religion, you have to decide whether it's good or bad or right or wrong. And you have to resist it if it's bad or wrong. And you have to deserve it if it's good or right. So every time you're out of the energy and you're into your head, trying to figure out if it's right or wrong or good or bad, you're not even in the moment anymore. Um, you're in somebody else's reality. Whoever dreamed up the religion, or whoever had the religion or the anti-religion when you were a kid. Now you have to decide. You have to judge whether you're living up to or down to their expectations. It's just really crazy making, mind fucky. So just let all that go. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. And again, be in that luscious receiving, barriers down. It's just yummy and not yummy. And anything that's yummy, you can hang out with. And anything that's not yummy, you just let it keep going. There you go. Okay, so now be in the energy of spirituality. And now, as the energy is flowing and you're in a position to receive, notice what happens. Is it spiritual? Is it not spiritual? Is it high? Is it low? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it high vibration or low vibration? If it's high vibration, it's good. And if it's low vibration, it's bad, right? Just notice what happens when you're in the energy of spiritual and you notice what it does to your receiving. It's like a cleaner version than religion, but it's still right and wrong and good and bad. It's kind of messy. Right? So just let all that go, let it just flow past. And just come back to the energy of receiving from the universe. No barriers, no judgments. Okay. All right. So now, with whatever you're aware of in this moment that's desiring to contribute to you, instead of judging it, what if you try this on? What if you just try on? Is it yummy or is it not yummy? Is it icky? There you go. See how even when you couldn't define what the energy was, you got an icky and a yummy? You may have noticed like a clamping of something, a shutting down, or a tightness, or a you may have noticed something in your throat, or between your shoulder blades, or in your solar plexus area. Yeah. So if you're a common question is if you're not navigating by judgment, good and bad and right and wrong, how do you navigate? Well, just remember that as long as you're navigating by judgment, you're navigating by somebody else's reality. Somebody else has decided what's right and wrong and good and bad. And you've been dedicated to living by that. And if that seems if it seems kind of scary to not navigate by good and bad and right and wrong, it's probably because underneath and unspoken, even maybe, is the conclusion, decision, assumption that left to your own devices, you would be bad and wrong. Original sin, you're bad and wrong. God could punish you because you're bad and wrong, because God's, like the authority figure, and you're like the child, and you can never know what God knows. You can never know what Buddha knows. You can never know what somebody else knows. And so it's like trying to live through crib sheets, cheater notes, right? And if you're just navigating by expansion and restriction, then you're always following the energy in the moment of what's going to create and generate more. So think of something that you would like to do. And now ask this question of the universe. So truth, would doing this, let's see, sorry, truth, where will my life and the life of the planet be like in 5 years if I do this thing? Just wait for your sensations to answer the body. And then about the same thing, truth, what will my life and the life of the planet be like in 5 years if I don't do this thing? Notice what happens. Yeah. So whichever one there was more breathing, there was more relaxation, there was more brightness. That's the thing to do. And the one that has a stifling energy or a shutting down or a heaviness, that's your no. So this is not it's not your body deciding for you. This is like your higher self, let's say. Your higher self. You're an infinite being and you know more than you'll ever know that you know because doesn't have body personality is not energy. Your higher self, um, what I often used to call your spirit, uh, is energy. It doesn't have a body. It doesn't have a corporeal, limited point of view. So this is the way your higher self can give you your yes and your no, your flow and your no flow, your go and your no go, right? It's by the energy. And I stopped using the word spiritual because people have lots of conclusions, decisions, assumptions about spiritual that are really very similar in hierarchical structure to religion. And that's not the way forward. And that's not what I mean. I mean nothing. I mean nothing about religion. I'm not for it, against it. I'm not, I have nothing to do with religion. And it turns out now I have nothing to do with spirituality either. Um, it's just energy and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And the more you're navigating by that instead of other people's criteria, the more freedom you're going to have, the less controllable you will be, the more authentic you will be, and the more you will be the amazing being that you came here to be, which is what we need you to be. So I hope this experiential thing gives you some ideas about the fact that you are an energetic being and that your body is part of that and that it communicates through sensations. And receiving is not the same as taking. All right. Good to see you. Um, I will see you next time. Thanks.